What's going on, everyone? Hope you're having a good day. So this is part 2. Yesterday we installed the TRD cold air intake. We did the video. Simple install, no big deal. Instructions are very good, so if you're in the market for the cold air intake, I strongly suggest you check out the TRD version. And let me just give you a couple reasons why. Number one, it's made by Toyota and TRD, so you know it's engineered for the Tundra versus some other options out there that are also, there are very good options out there other than the TRD, but this is made for the Tundra. It's not made for multiple applications. There's no adjusting, cutting, anything like that. It fits right into the Tundra, no problem whatsoever. Simple install, great instructions and everything. The price is a little high, $375 to $400. There's plenty of places you could buy the TRD intake at, but I suggest you go to sparksparts.com, promo code TundraDude34 will save you 5% and take a little bit off the top. As far as expectations with this intake before we turned it on, I've had about 4 so far. This is my 5th install. I also installed one on a friend's vehicle. Very simple. Expectations are what you gotta really think about before you spend this kind of money. You'll probably get, 5 to 10 horsepower gain. There's not much horsepower and torque. You will get a little throttle response. That's what I normally notice in it. And you definitely will get a little more bassy engine bay. A little more sound out of it, and it really complements the TRD dual exhaust if you have that as well. You get a little bit more sound out of that engine bay. That's the main thing you're going to get, sound. And if you're somebody who goes to car shows or anything like that, and you open your hood up a lot, it definitely makes the engine bay look good. It's a red and black intake that says TRD, so it definitely looks nice. Overall, I'm a big fan of this intake for sure. But like I said, do some shopping around, do some research, and see what fits your needs. For me, all about this, all about the TRD engineering. I know how much time and effort they put into it. But what I expect on this ride is a good sounding TRD. Like I said, that bassy noise that we're expecting, that I've had in all the other ones. I'm not expecting any crazy horsepower changes, and we will see if throttle response comes into play on this first ride. You will also see 2 different views, one from inside the cabin with me right now, and I also do this, in case you don't know this. I don't really show this to a lot of people, I don't think. What I did before I put this intake in is I took the truck for a ride with the stock box, and I tape on this little microphone on top of the stock box so you can hear what it sounds like from inside the engine bay. I've done that in a few different videos over the years. We're also going to do that right now with the TRD intake so you can hear direct comparison. We can see if the mic picks up any difference in sound. But I will tell you from the seat of my pants what it feels like and sounds like, and try to eliminate the placebo effect. Like I said, I'm not expecting too much, but let's take this little ride around town and see what we feel initially from this TRD cold air intake. Check it out. Okay, let's start her up, see what we got. Fairly similar sound, nothing too crazy. Let's say a couple revs here. I don't want to make the neighbors mad, but yeah, there's definitely a little more bass, and that's what I've noticed every time I have one of these intakes in the truck. There's always just a tad more bass in that engine bay, and it definitely makes it complements the TRD dual exhaust very well. They work nicely together, as will any intake though. The K&N is also another great option out there if you're looking for something that's not TRD, and it's a little bit cheaper. It's about $250 to $300, but it's a cone filter, and there is a little more bass, even more bass in that than this. But let's see. definitely got a little sound to it from the engine bay versus the other one. Don't think too hard into it. And what I mean by that is it's not going to be insanely different. Hold on. Right there. I don't know how much the camera will pick up, but when you put your foot on the pedal a little bit, you could definitely hear just a little more noise coming out of the engine bay. And for me, some people like quiet vehicles. I don't like super loud vehicles, but I want to hear the money that I spent. 381 horsepower, 401 torque. You know, we got the dual exhaust. Now we got the intake. I want to hear a little sound. Let's see what this thing sounds like at speed, full throttle. Oh yeah. Nice normal driving launch here. It's hard to tell if I'm hearing the vehicles outside or my own, but yeah. A little more noise, just like I expected. So who's going to like this and who's not going to like this? There are a lot of different directions you could go. The TRD cold air intake is on the more expensive side compared to other intake systems out there for the Tundra. Again, this is CARB approved. If you care about being legal, that is something you might want to look into, because a lot of intakes nowadays are not CARB approved anymore. It's 50 state approved. So you're good to go with this. If you want to keep your vehicle, there are people out there that like to keep their vehicle strictly Toyota and TRD. They don't want to use aftermarket parts. This is obviously the direction you're going to go. There's also a lot cheaper of a direction you could go, I should tell you that. I made a video about that years ago. A lot of people just get the airflow accelerator, which you saw in yesterday's video when we were doing the install, and they get the TRD air filter, because the actual tubing is fairly similar in the stock box and the TRD. You just lose a little, there's like this filter in the middle, I think it's a filter, on the hose part that is about halfway down the hoses. You actually just lose that part with the TRD intake, but you know, at the end of the day, like I said, you're not really going to get much more power. You're going to get a little throttle response and you're going to get a little noise. Those are the two main things you're going to get. Throttle response, it's increased slightly, I should say that as well. It's not like you're going to slam on the pedal and feel, you know, a supercharger. You got to know what you're going to get before you spend the money. So your homework during this video is to let me know, is this something you would spend this amount of money on, or is it just too much? How do you feel about cold air intakes in general? A lot of people just don't believe in them. For me, I like it for what they are. I like it for the little bit of extra noise, and that's it. I don't have any expectations. I was a supercharge owner at one point. I'll never get anything that feels like that again unless I buy another supercharger. I like to keep my expectations in check as far as what I'm going to get. But you got to let me know what you think. Overall score on this thing, like I said, this is like my 4th or 5th one. I can't even remember. It might have been my 4th one. And, you know, at the end of the day, I dig it. But I dig it because I know what to expect. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Is this for you? Do you go a cheaper route? Did you go another direction? What intake do you have? And what intake do you like? Or do you just think all intakes are a waste of money? I mean, it pretty much is a cold air system from the factory. Goes right into the fender well and everything. But they say that airflow accelerator does wonders. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I do like the TRD cold air intake. I will say that. And I think it's worth the money as long as you know what you're going to get. So keep that in mind. Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook at Tundra 34, Tundra 34 gmail.com. You guys have a great day and be safe.